Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
They promised us 2 weeks. It's like, okay, 2 weeks. And then 10 months later. So my apartment where I live alone is now my individualized padded cell. Stay home. Don't go anywhere. If I go to the store, if I go take the bus, take the metro, I can't see anyone smile. I can't see them laughing. I can't feel their emotions. All I have is two soulless eyes peering over the mask constantly, and I feel like trapped inside the same thing. So now I want to go out on my own. I want to clear my head because it's not been a freaking good year, and I can't even do that. I want to go out specifically in the dead of night when there's no one to be alone. And they say, go to hell. You're endangering public safety. The hell I'm not.
Today, I'm going to introduce you to Jeremy Best. Now, Jeremy lives in Montreal, and he recently received a lockdown ticket. But it's not just any lockdown ticket. You see, Jeremy was completely alone on the street. He wasn't gathered with a bunch of people. He wasn't ticketed for keeping his restaurant open. He was ticketed for breaking the curfew in Quebec. Now, the curfew in Quebec is from 8 p.m. nightly till 5 a.m., and it's going to be in place until at least the first week of February. It's an outrageous infringement on the civil liberties of Quebecers. And like so much of this lockdown, it's having a serious impact on the well-being of people forced to live under it. Just take a listen to Jeremy's gut-wrenching story.
It was 9 p.m. I wanted to go out for a walk. 9 p.m. walk. That's actually something I do fairly frequently. I like to take pictures at that time of night. It's nice and quiet. And lo and behold, even though had I gone out at that time the night before, there was no indication, no reason to believe that I was doing anything wrong. 5 minutes out on my walk, not even 2 blocks away, I can see it out the window right there. Patrol car comes up. They say, hey, there's a curfew. You shouldn't be here. So I'm like, okay, let me go home. No, you don't. You can't go home. You get a ticket. So I asked, what the hell? And they say, oh, there's a curfew. And I'm like, oh, I heard about that the previous week, but nothing since. There's been no indication. They say, you were supposed to have gotten a message on your phone. Sorry, I didn't get a message on my phone. And then that was the end of that. So there you go, $1,500. And I can't go outside. I've been stuck inside for 10 months now. I just want to go outside, clear my head, take some nice photos. Can't do that. Stay at home. And that's it.
And to be clear, you're walking outside alone after dark. There's really probably nobody else on the street, right?
There was a couple of people walking their dogs. Of course they were. But they weren't anywhere near me. I was on my own, alone, going to be alone for the specific purpose of being alone. So with regards to the intent of the curfew, obviously, if we expected them to exercise some kind of judgment, I didn't see that, not at all.
That's outrageous. Now, in Alberta, we're starting to open back up. Businesses are opening back up. We can have 10 people outside in a gathering now. So I want to ask you, what is it like now living with a curfew?
Well, I mean, personally, they promised us 2 weeks. It's like, okay, 2 weeks, and then 10 months later. So my apartment where I live alone is now my individualized padded cell. Stay home. Don't go anywhere. If I go to the store, if I go take the bus, take the metro, I can't see anyone smile. I can't see them laughing. I can't feel their emotions. All I have is two soulless eyes peering over the mask constantly, and I feel like trapped inside the same thing. So now I want to go out on my own. I want to clear my head because it's not been a freaking good year, and I can't even do that. I want to go out specifically in the dead of night when there's no one to be alone. And they say, go to hell. You're endangering public safety. The hell I'm not.
Well, Jeremy, we think this is outrageous. We think that the curfew in Quebec and now the curfew by another name in Ontario, I think these are some of the largest civil liberties breaches in modern times in Canada, and we're going to help you fight that fine. It's a trying time already across the country, especially in Quebec. I can hear the emotion in your voice, and I don't want you to have to worry about this fine or fighting the fine or contesting the fine. What I want you to do is plead not guilty and then go about your life as best you can, because we're going to crowdfund a lawyer to help you fight that fine in court through fightthefines.com. It's going to cost you nothing. People from all across the country are going to hear your story and feel the despair, because I can feel it. It's palpable. And they're going to help you fight back. What do you think about that?
That actually it's fairly empowering. So last night I had trouble sleeping because I was fairly excited for this. But the last week I had trouble sleeping because honestly, I was thinking of ways to off myself. So not the most productive thing. So I was going to fight this regardless of whether I heard back from you guys. So it's really nice that I did get that email. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to fighting these fines and helping people like you, giving people like you a little bit of hope in all this darkness and despair. I'm just so sorry that so many of our fellow Canadians have to live the way that Quebecers and people in Ontario are living right now, locked down in their homes. It's truly a tyrannical police state. When you go outside at night alone and the cops come and ticket you, it's shocking to even know that this is happening in the Western world, let alone in our own country. Jeremy, we're going to help you fight back. And thank you so much for telling your story. And I hope that this brings you a little bit of hope and comfort while you're trying to get through this.
It does. It does restore faith a little bit. So hopefully we see the end of this.
Well, you heard it here. This isn't going to stand. We're helping Jeremy fight this ticket in court. We have to. We're putting him in touch with a top criminal lawyer at no cost to him, because walking outside completely alone should never be illegal in this country. It's clear with what's happening in Quebec and all across this country. The so-called cure for the coronavirus disease the politicians and health bureaucrats are offering to us all is obviously far worse and far more devastating than the disease itself. For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you're like Jeremy and you've received a lockdown ticket, I don't want you to pay it. I want you to fight it. I want you to plead not guilty and send that ticket to us at fightthefines.com. And if you'd like to help people like Jeremy fight for freedom and fight their tickets in court, if you want to make a stand for civil liberties, help us by donating at that very same website, fightthefines.com.